Sarah almost cancelled, not once, but 3 times that morning. At 58, she'd convinced herself that blind dates were for younger hearts, for people who still believed in fresh starts and second chances. But her sister Emma had been relentless. "Sarah, you've spent too long taking care of everyone else. Maybe it's time someone takes care of you." And so, with hesitant hope tucked beneath her grey blazer, Sarah found herself standing outside a small cafe in downtown Boston, a place that smelled like cinnamon, coffee, and the soft ache of winter memories. Snowflakes drifted lazily through the cold December air, landing on her scarf like tiny promises from heaven. She checked her reflection in the frosted window, then smiled nervously at her own uncertainty. Inside, the world was warm, laughter, clinking mugs, the low hum of holiday songs playing somewhere in the background. Sarah arrived 15 minutes early. Her fingers trembled slightly as she adjusted her purse and chose the corner table by the window. And then, right on time, he walked in. Michael. He was handsome in that quiet kind of way, the way that comes from years of holding others up while carrying your own storms. His brown hair was streaked with grey, his eyes soft, steady, and tired. But kind. So kind. He smiled, and those faint laugh lines around his eyes deepened, like small traces of a life well lived, even through loss. "Sarah?" he asked gently. "Yes," she smiled back. "Michael." "Hi." They shook hands awkwardly, two strangers pretending to be calm when both their hearts were stuttering. The first 20 minutes felt long. She stirred her tea. He checked his watch. Twice. They talked about work, weather, the kind of polite small talk that never reaches the heart. Sarah could feel the walls she'd built over years of solitude rising again, quiet, safe, familiar. Maybe this was a mistake, she thought. Maybe some stories just aren't meant to start again. And then, the bell above the door jingled. A little girl ran in, her curls bouncing, her coat dusted with snow. She couldn't have been more than 6 years old, cheeks flushed pink with winter's joy. Behind her, a panicked teenage babysitter hurried to catch up. The child's eyes scanned the cafe, searching for something. And when she spotted their table, her whole face lit up. She ran straight to Sarah. Not Michael. Not the man she came for. But Sarah. "You're her," the little girl exclaimed, breathless, eyes wide with wonder. "The lady from Daddy's favorite story." Sarah blinked in confusion. "I'm sorry." Michael froze, his coffee cup halfway to his lips, color draining from his face. "Lily, sweetheart," he began softly, but the girl had already climbed onto the chair beside Sarah, studying her with the intense curiosity only children possess. "You have kind eyes," Lily said matter-of-factly. "Just like Daddy said. And you're wearing grey, like the lady in his story." Sarah smiled awkwardly, unsure what to say. "What story is that, honey?" she asked gently. Lily's face glowed. "The one Daddy tells every night before bed. About when he was little, when he got lost at the Christmas market. A lady in a grey coat found him and stayed until his parents came. She sang to him, told him stories, and said snowflakes are wishes from angels, falling so lost wishes can find their way home." The cafe went silent. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. Her hand trembled around her teacup. Her heart, after years of quiet, began to race. She looked at Michael. And in his stunned, tear-glossed eyes, she saw it, recognition. A flicker of memory, buried for decades, now waking like light through old glass. "What year was this?" Sarah whispered, her voice breaking. Michael swallowed. "December 1974. The Christmas market near the old pavilion in Boston." Sarah closed her eyes. She could see it, the snow swirling, the lights glowing, the small boy crying by the fountain. His toy soldier clutched tight in his mittened hands. "You had a toy soldier," she said, opening her eyes, tears shining. "You said his name was Captain James. You told me even brave soldiers get scared sometimes." Michael's eyes overflowed. "You stayed with me," he said softly. "You missed your bus home. You told me stars were holes in heaven's floor, where the light shines through so we know we're not alone. Lily looked between them, her voice filled with joy. I knew it was you. Daddy says that lady was his angel. Sarah reached across the table, and Michael took her hand. 41 years dissolved in a heartbeat. I never forgot you, he whispered. I looked for you every Christmas for years. But we never knew your name. Just that you were the lady in grey who made a scared little boy believe the world was still kind. Sarah smiled through her tears. And I never forgot you, Michael. You were the little boy who made me believe kindness matters, even when no one's watching. Outside, snow kept falling, soft, endless, forgiving. And in that cozy cafe, two souls who once met by chance, found each other again by grace. The world outside the cafe had turned into a snow globe, white, soft, and still. Inside, time seemed to pause, as if even the snow held its breath for what was unfolding. Michael hadn't let go of Sarah's hand. And Sarah didn't want him to. For over 40 years, she'd believed that chapter of her life had closed, just a small, kind memory from youth. But now, looking at the man across from her, tears shining in his eyes, she realized some stories don't end, they wait patiently for us to catch up. They talked for hours. The babysitter, wide-eyed and smiling, sat nearby with Lily, sipping cocoa as the two grown-ups spoke about everything, the past, the years between, the people they'd loved and lost. Michael told her about his wife, Rebecca, how cancer had taken her 2 winters ago, and how he'd spent every Christmas since trying to keep Lily's world bright, even when his own felt dim. She was the light of my life, he said softly, voice trembling. And when she passed, I thought that part of me was gone forever. But Lily, she keeps reminding me to believe in magic again. Sarah's eyes glistened. You did a good job, she said quietly. She's kind and curious. Children mirror the love they see at home. Michael smiled, humbled. Maybe she learned that from stories about angels in grey coats. Sarah laughed, that soft, forgotten laugh that sounds like music after silence. And for the first time in years, she felt something stirring deep inside her, hope. As the cafe lights dimmed and evening settled, Michael reached for his wallet. But Lily's small voice interrupted, bright as a bell. Daddy, she said, can we ask her something? Michael nodded, unsure what was coming. Lily turned to Sarah, eyes wide with innocence. Would you come to our house for Christmas? Daddy always leaves an empty chair at dinner, for you. He says it's for the lady in the story, in case she ever finds her way back. The world seemed to stop spinning for a moment. Sarah's lips parted, her breath catching on a wave of emotion. Michael looked down, suddenly shy, the vulnerability in his expression as raw as it was real. It's true, he admitted. Every Christmas Eve since Rebecca passed, we've set one extra place, not knowing if it was for an angel, memory, or maybe hope itself. Sarah swallowed hard. The lump in her throat was thick with years of loneliness, love, and the quiet ache of time lost. I'd like that, she whispered finally. I'd like that very much. Christmas Eve arrived with the gentle hush of falling snow. Michael's home glowed with soft golden light, the fireplace crackled, the tree sparkled with handmade ornaments and one old toy soldier sitting proudly at the top. When Sarah stepped through the door, holding a small box wrapped in silver ribbon, Lily ran into her arms as if she'd known her all her life. Welcome home, the little girl whispered. Dinner was filled with laughter, stories, and warmth, the kind that fills the space between broken hearts and makes it whole again. They talked about the past, the market, and the song about snowflakes and angels that Sarah had once sung to a frightened boy. When Lily went to bed, Michael and Sarah sat by the fire, 2 cups of cocoa between them, quiet but not uncomfortable. You know, Michael said softly, for years, I thought I'd never meet someone who understood what kindness could do. How it stays with you, shaping who you become. It covers everything, even the scars, and makes the world look new again. Michael reached over, his fingers brushing hers. And in that moment, neither of them was 58 or 60 or defined by loss or time. They were just 2 souls, finally home. Outside, The snow fell heavier, as if the heavens themselves were whispering blessings over them. Sarah looked at the extra chair at the table, the one that had been empty for so long. Now, it was filled. And with it, so were their hearts. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness becomes a seed that grows for decades, waiting for the right season to bloom. Sometimes, what we think we've lost forever finds its way back, not by chance, but by grace. And sometimes, love doesn't arrive when we expect it, but exactly when we need it most. Sarah thought she was too old for new beginnings. What she learned was that she was exactly the right age for miracles.